Silent John incremental, another silent instrumental, the nerd rap existential. People compare me to MC Christopher a lot, but the fact is I predicted with significance. I'm the oldest geek rapper by far, save K&R, compiling kernels, open bracket, cause I racket. MIT nerds throw your laser pen in the air and wave it all around like you had no repercussions. Now follow instructions, Professor. Why these discussions consist of nothing but incoherent rambling and babbling, but you just still take notes cause you never know what's happening. I'll drop a little nugget, a tidbit if you will. There were 4 United States presidents named Bill. Really? If you run out of hit points, the game will shout, your life force is running out. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dug this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. Let me start again, put it on like a cardigan, swinging like my name was Mad Mardigan, which reminds me, Warwick Davis was Willow and a Ewok, Leonard Nimoy was Galvatron and Spock. That ain't typecast, I don't know what it. Talk about predestiny, nobody gets the best of me. I've only played one role my whole lifetime, the nerd lifeline, stream through a wicked pipeline, so no one can bite mine, cause mine is original and I write rhymes to burn on a CD, play in the mini-V, soccer moms yodel back, yodel at belittle me. I got a sidekick, I gotta stay connected, watch out for my decom or you'll get infected. And you don't wanna be one of my bots, cause I see it all like Sauron the Cyclops, and I won't hesitate to drop your whole net block if you're acting up and you're dumber than a pet rock. I'm about this nerd life, as you can see, spreading like a virus on MP3.
Yeah, on MP3. STC. Shoutouts to Vic, Agnostic One, up for fucking Silent John. Yeah. Nerd Life, graphing calculator, HP48G. The G is for gangster. Digital slip, yeah. You know how we do.
What's up, meatbags? I am the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD. That was Dig Dug by Whitey Cracker. This is Gabbing with Geeks, and he is my man, Carl.
Waka waka, motherfuckers.
So we got a lot to talk about this week. We're going to be talking about the second episode of What If. We're going to be talking about the Suicide Squad movie. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I just watched it earlier in the week. We will be talking CM Punk and AEW.
What is AEW? I'm sorry, just I've always heard that abbreviation. I've never really figured it out.
All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, okay, all right.
We'll be talking Halo Infinite having issues at launch, and of course, we'll be taking some questions from the chat. But before we get to that, we got to get to the good stuff, and that's how's your week been, Carl?
Well, got my surgery, as you know. My vision is definitely better than it was before. On the 26th, I go to see the doctor, and on the 2nd of September, I go to get surgery for my other eye, and rinse and repeat.
Sounds like fun. So everything was a success. You got perfect vision now?
Yeah. Well, I have retinitis pigmentosus, so I'll never have perfect vision.
I've never even heard of that. What is
it's
that?
Basically like all the parts in the eye that have anything to do with depth perception and night vision are bad.
Ooh. Tough break, Carl. That's a tough break.
It's not a big deal.
So anything else interesting happened to you this week?
I finished paying off my pre-order for the Xbox AquaShift controller, which I will be talking about that on here. When I think of it, I'll show it off, maybe show the box off if I decide to keep that.
Sounds good. Of course.
What about you?
I've had quite an interesting week. I had computer issues, wasn't able to get last week's episode uploaded.
Again?
I finally got it today. I got the last part of it. The Amico section is uploaded now, so that's probably drawing all the attention.
Hey, Retro Bros in the audience. You can always see if he wants to join us.
Hey, what's up, Retro Bro? So
or Ninja Kitty.
I finally got the full
So
edited up version of the podcast live stream, whatever you want to call it. I got that up. We had all that interesting Miko news that we took care of Wednesday.
yeah, it's I almost let Vito have it on air. I got to be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he kept asking that same stupid question, and I'm like, here's the thing about that people who've never played Phantasy Star Online don't realize the game is functionally comparable between online and offline. There are minute differences.
Well,
and
to be fair, Carl, I think the point that Vito was trying to make was that the game was designed for online play, with offline play being added in later, or not really being the main focus, the main draw.
Oh, actually, you're wrong. It's they're focused pretty identically. Literally, the only things that were different about online and offline. Online, you had PvP, and which was online, by the way, was easily hackable.
Right, but I think what I'm saying is, when I say focus, I mean the developers, as far as how the movement goes, how the game is structured. It was structured for an online environment. Therefore, the offline suffers from
there's literally no difference. I mean, there's literally no difference besides PvP and the way the way you get around dungeons if you have party members with you. There's literally no other difference.
That's what I'm talking about, Kyle. You were complaining about the movement in the game, correct?
What I mean is the way the controls were stiff. The controls were stiff, and nothing really. That doesn't change when you're in online mode.
Right. But what Vito was saying was that the controls, being stiff, were designed because of the online mode, because of the 56K modems from when the game was released. The offline mode should be better, but they didn't make it better. They didn't unstiffen the controls because it was just added on as a bonus complementary to the online mode. So it was designed for online play with online stiffness in order to.
I wish that were true. I wish that were true, but the same stiffness remained later on. There was
that's what I'm saying. The same stiffness remained because they designed it for online, and they didn't change anything when they added the offline mode.
No, I mean online. It was still stiff online.
Right. It was done that on purpose, though, is what I'm saying.
Why would they? That's a terrible decision.
Because of the lag and the, like I said, because we didn't have high-speed internet back then.
I mean, well, I think a lot of the way the controls were stiff were the way evasion worked.
Personally, I've never played the game, so I can't comment as to how.
It's really an awkward experience. It really is. It's a Phantasy Star Online 2 actually functions worlds better, but you don't have that on the Western PS4 consoles or the Switch.
Like I said, I've never played the original. I've never played the sequel. I'm just trying to explain Vito's point that he was making, although he was being a little aggressive about it.
Aggressive. If I ever hear anyone ever talk to me on like that again, I'm going to tear them a new one.
Oof.
That rat bastard needs to learn to respect other people. I'm not going to let him do that again, dumb motherfucker.
All right. Let's
No. Be nice. No way. Not the way he tried to treat me like a dog. I don't fucking think so.
Anyway. that is the intro. Any other news you want to talk about in the intro,
No,
Kyle?
things haven't really been really that um, been really that eventful. Just getting things done. Yeah, retro bro. He tried to get me too. So yeah.
Yeah, you two guys are definitely oil and water. Yeah, JM De Los Santos. Yeah, we are going to talk about CM Punk being in AEW. I have thoughts on it. We'll get to that later on.
Well, you talk about our next subject. I'm gonna go get my dinner.
All right, Carl's going to go get some dinner. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the first topic of the night, and that is the second episode of What If. Now, this episode was completely ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw it. I will spoil it if you haven't seen it, so be aware of that. The second episode is What If T'Challa is Star-Lord? And in this version of reality, instead of Yondu coming down, picking up Star-Lord, taking him into space, and then deciding not to give him to Ego, in this version, he sends Kraglin and Taserface, rather, to go pick up Star-Lord. Only they accidentally pick up T'Challa as a little boy instead. Obviously, is the wrong kid. They realize it's the wrong kid, but Yondu's impressed with his maturity, his reasoning. T'Challa wants to explore. He feels like a kindred spirit, so they keep him aboard the ship, and they flash forward about 20 years, and you get an adult Star-Lord who is now a hero of the galaxy, hero of the universe. Everybody knows him. He's famous. Korath, the pursuer, he's basically simping for him. He's so impressed by the fact that it's Star-Lord. Star-Lord is so good that he convinces Thanos to not try to kill half the universe. They don't really explain how. He just kind of talks to him apparently in the past. And Thanos is now a good guy. He's a member of the Ravagers. Gamora is not mentioned at all in the series, but instead Nebula, who has a rocky relationship with Thanos. So there is still some of the past as far as Thanos' behavior, his actions prior to meeting Star-Lord and becoming a good guy. Still mentioned, but Thanos good. Nebula's good. They got kind of a flirtatious relationship with Star-Lord. But the whole crux of the episode is that they're going to do a heist from the Collector. The Collector has some magic seeds that will invigorate.
All right, now I'm back.
Carl's back. So the Collector, he got these seeds that if you put it into a planet, the planet will grow green, and they want to feed the whole universe. And it's basically a triple cross. You think that Nebula has betrayed them, but actually it was a plan between Nebula and T'Challa the whole time. In the course of the heist, they find a spaceship that was apparently sent from Wakanda to go look for Star-Lord, but it was captured by the Collector. Just happened to be there. Happens to respond to a necklace that T'Challa is wearing. He ends up getting into a fight with the Collector, beats him with the help of Yondu, and the universe lives happily ever after. And then we get a little reunion between Ego and the real Star-Lord, or the kid who was supposed to be Star-Lord as a 21-year-old adult. And there's kind of a hint that Ego is going to be the big bad, the overall villain, taking the place of Thanos in that universe. And it is fucking ridiculous. T'Challa is treated like a Gary Stu. He can do no wrong. Everybody loves him. He's fantastic. Completely ridiculous. Carl, do you have any opinions on this? I know you had to see some of it.
Like I said, I haven't really seen either one. I don't really subscribe to the appropriate channels. I'm too cheap.
Well, not spending any money this week. I'll give you the ridiculous, Carl. Basically, it was like T'Challa is so super awesome and everybody loves him that he talked Thanos out of destroying the universe because he's that awesome.
Well, Thanos is a fanatic, or at least that's the way I understood things, at least.
Yeah. Even in the MCU, he's basically sacrificed his daughter Gamora in order to accomplish his mission. He has the pure drive and will to do what needs to be done. You know, the hardest choices take the strongest wills. But in this universe, T'Challa's like, "Hey, man, why are you killing people? Let's not do that." And Thanos is like, "Fuck yeah, bro! I ain't gonna kill nobody no more." Pound it. I'm gonna have to share my login info with Carl. Yeah, I might have to get Carl up to speed on all this stuff.
I mean, it sounds like this episode was better than the last one.
No, it was worse. It was completely worse.
Really?
It was so like I said. Basically, T'Challa, Star-Lord, he's just perfect. They got people from the MCU basically bowing down, kneeling to him because he's so awesome. He's like the intergalactic Robin Hood or some shit. It is completely out of character for so many people. Completely ridiculous.
Well,
it was a waste of a half hour.
I mean, if you want my general opinion,
always
it sounds like What If is, it's to get people. It's like the Transformers movies we were talking about. It's there to get people. A lot of this stuff is there to get people into the Marvel universe, so they can subscribe to get all those comic book subscriptions or buy all those comic book games. And
well, this failed. If that was the point, this is a big failure. Big thumbs down. Big thumbs down.
Wouldn't be surprised if, and I'm not sexist here, but practically speaking, comic books are a guy thing. They always have been.
Yes,
when you start having women designing all the all the characters, writing all the stories, and being in charge of all the decisions of a male-oriented aspect of entertainment, this is what happens. It'd be like if a guy started if men started working on Barbie to make it inclusive for men.
Well, I think the original Barbie was created by a man, if I'm not mistaken.
Really? Wow. Well, you know what I mean. Sex in the City, then.
Well,
anyone ever watch that garbage?
No, but just a side note. The original Barbie doll was inspired by a German adult toy.
Really?
Yes. A toy designer was in Germany in an adult shop. He saw a small doll, and he decided that he could recreate that small doll, but sell it to little kids as a toy instead of a adult little figurine. It's very interesting if you look it up. If you look up the backstory. But to Luke's comment here, the first was awful. I didn't even want to watch this one. I hard disagree. I think the first episode was good. It wasn't great. It was good. This one was awful. This was terrible, and I'm not looking forward to the third one.
Well, you either have two choices: either watch it or don't.
You make it sound so simple, Carl.
It is. Well, either watch it and waste your time or don't, because I guarantee you it's not really going to get any better.
You might have a point, but I mean, I have to kind of watch these things to be in the know, to have something to discuss. If I'm not watching this, what are we going to talk about?
Okay, that's a valid point.
I mean, if you want to just do like a 10-minute show with just an intro and then we just
Okay, good point.
So that's my thoughts on the whole Star-Lord T'Challa thing.
Oh,
It's
I can only
very
imagine
bad.
what they're gonna do next.
I did see an image of Spider-Man wearing the Doctor Strange
Oh,
cloak,
come on.
so that might be where they're going next.
If they really want, I'll tell you, if the good what if scenario, Apocalypse being good for once.
Well, the What If is based on the MCU.
Oh, okay. All right, I get you.
Yeah. So it's going to be
Well,
all
see,
MCU centric.
that's part of the problem right there. The MC universe sucks.
Well, they could have done an What If the X-Men existed in the MCU. That could have been an interesting.
I mean, the original X-Men movies were already fantastic. I don't think they need to fuck it up.
I mean, they already fucked it up with the whole First Class and all that shit.
No. I'm talking about like the trilogy, the original trilogy, not the ones they try to tack on.
Well, I was going to say they are in the same universe technically. They tacked them on. They did that whole time travel brain thingy. Either way, that's it. That's all I got to say about T'Challa Star-Lord episode. What If episode 2? Garbage. If you can skip it, wait for episode 3. See how that's going.
So, you want me to watch? You want me to pay money and watch that?
Well, I mean, you could always pirate it or something. I don't know.
No.
There's
Pirating isn't any worth it, and I don't want them to send me a little notice with their law ninja. No, thank you.
You don't want the mouse coming after you?
No way.
All right. It looks like we're going to move right along. I mean, this is going to be a short show. We ain't got much to talk about here. The Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
I just watched this. Carl has not watched it. I mean, I really got to get Carl in on, we got to really brainstorm before these shows so he can watch the same things I watch, or I can watch the things he watches or something.
I don't watch much TV. And you wouldn't. I watch stuff like Ken Burns' Civil War and stuff like that. So I watch a lot of old man stuff.
Ooh, but you said you did watch the Will Smith Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, I watched the Will Smith Suicide Squad. I thought the trailers were interesting, and the movie, it didn't suck. I hated the Joker, but
everybody hated the Joker. I didn't even see the movie, and I hated the Joker in that one.
I didn't, I thought the movie was okay. It wasn't terrible. It's nothing I would watch again, but, it wasn't bad. And if you just watch it as a movie, it's not bad. It really is worth watching at least once.
Yeah, see, Ninja Kitty says you're already a pirate with an eye patch, so you should go ahead and get on that streaming and see what's out there on the 17th.
But it was. Is there any difference?
Is there a difference?
Yeah, the usual way that remakes are different. Is it different like that?
Well, I didn't see the original, so I can't comment as if it's a remake or a reboot or a sequel. It's hard to tell. I know there are some characters that have carried over between the movies, like Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang. They do make it seem like this whole Suicide Squad, Task Force X, it's not their first rodeo. It's not the first mission that they've been sent on. That this is an ongoing thing that happens within this universe. But overall, the movie was actually pretty good. They do a little kind of like they trick you at the beginning. They introduce a Suicide Squad, and within the first 10 minutes, they all die. People's fucking heads are getting blown off. You got body parts everywhere. It's fucking ridiculous and pretty badass, I must say.
Sounds glorious.
It is. And then you're introduced to the real Suicide Squad, the one that's going to actually be the stars of the
Kick
movie.
ass and take names.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good overall. It's a really good movie. A lot of action, no romance, no side plots really. It's just straightforward. We're going into this country. We're gonna stop some evil experiment, and fucking, we hope we don't die.
Yeah, well, you know how
Lots
that
of
goes.
blood, lots of guts. There was a dick in the movie. I really was kind of surprised by that. Like
A dick in the movie.
yeah, there was.
What is this
on,
game? What is this Game of Thrones?
No, I don't know. It was like just out of nowhere. Like they're shooting people in this little like rebel camp, and they're shooting people. And the guy stands up,
And
they
there's
shoot
little
him,
Todger.
yeah, and it's just hanging out. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Poor little Scrody.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was weird, unnecessary. I think that they could have just not had that in there. It was really no point. It wasn't even like they shot him in the dick. Like if they would have shot him in the dick and then like make a joke, it was just like, dude just got no pants. So that was just weird. I thought that was weird. Maybe they did it for the rating. Maybe they wanted to get the rating up, and that was the quickest way.
I don't know.
Either way, overall, good movie. You had a nice, a giant starfish, a space starfish at the end.
An asshole?
No, not an asshole. They did make that joke though, because they're trying to stop Project Starfish, Carl, and John Cena made that joke that is slang accurate.
Well, every time I hear my inner 13-year-old giggles. So,
hey, what's up, Rhea? So,
hey, Rhea, what up?
Yeah, at the end you get the giant kaiju fight with the giant starfish destroying the town. It was pretty good overall. Like I said, it's a really good movie. A lot of action. I'm not a big DC fan, so if anything in the movie was like not comic accurate or if they strayed too much from the source material, I would not fucking know. I have no clue. Just seeing it as somebody who likes comic book style movies and just likes action and shit, it's a good movie. I'd give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. You know, don't take your family to see it. Obviously, like I said, there's straight dicks in the movies.
I mean, you know, all you people who like guys out there. I mean, you know, you got a Todger scene, so.
And if you don't like Peter Davidson, he gets his face blown off. So that was a John Cena puts in a good performance. He does die in the movie, so it was kind of weird, you know, since they were talking about a Peacemaker spinoff.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
So I guess it's going to be a prequel to the Suicide Squad movie.
He'll never replace The Rock that way by dying in every movie he's in.
This is true. Idris Elba was fantastic in the movie. Ninja Kitty says, I believe that the dames may fancy the dongs in the movie. They might.
And the gay guys.
I can't speak to the quality of the dong in the movie. I didn't really investigate. We didn't rewind it. So it was in there, but I can't tell you how nice or unnice it was. So sorry about that.
I could make penis jokes, but you know, I'm not that classless.
I mean, this is a high class show. We gotta try to keep it on the up and up. Gotta make sure that Susan Majewski doesn't cancel our channel.
I mean, you know, I'm a clown. I'm a clown, you know, definitely. I mean, you know, but I'm not that classless.
Luke Skywalker says, at least we didn't see a blue dick during the whole movie like in The Watchmen. I didn't realize in The Watchmen dude's dick was hanging out. Is that like a new thing now in comic book movies? We're just going to have dicks hanging out?
The Watchmen was an old movie, though.
Well,
it's
10 years
you
old?
know. I mean, you know, that's old.
I don't think it's that old, Carl.
I mean, I'm like 42 or 43 or something. You know, if I say it's old, it's definitely old. You know, it's like.
Yeah, it came out in 2009. So, yeah, I guess it is pretty old. It's been that long. Fuck.
I
Anyway,
mean, I
Suicide
guess,
Squad. We
you
got to
know,
get it back on track.
maybe, just maybe, DC is going to introduce a new hero called Super Dong.
Yeah. But the movie is really good. If you like action, I highly recommend the movie. Like I said, if you have little kids, don't.
Don't
Wouldn't
take them
recommend
to
the
see the movie because they're going to ask a lot of uncomfortable questions and that you're not ready for just yet, probably.
I mean, aside from all the violence and people's limbs and shit getting blown off.
Oh, well, you know. You have to be that's kind of how I actually got a lot when I was a kid. When I wanted to watch the Prawn, I'll tell you what my secret was. I rented slasher flicks. There's always
slasher flicks.
back then there was always a guaranteed chance that some girls' clothes were coming off.
Rhea says it was a good movie. Give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, it was a good movie. I do agree. Ninja Kitty says, tell Carl watch Orgasmo from the South Park guys. You know what's the funniest thing, Carl?
What's
when
that?
I was about 10 years old, right? We had a sleepover at my cousin's house. There was at least 8 or 9 of us, right?
Right.
And my aunt, huh?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, so it was like 8 or 9 of us, all cousins. We're all, going to sleep over at my cousin's house for I think it was his birthday or something. And my aunt decided she was going to rent us a movie, right? So we went down to the video store, and she was going to rent us like a Jason movie, right? She was going to rent us like something, scary. So, we're going to scare the kids. What she ended up renting was Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now, if you've never seen this movie, this is basically a slasher flick that's like almost a comedy. It's a guy with a guitar that has a drill on the end of it, chasing half-naked women around the whole movie, basically. So basically, like 10, 8 to 10 young boys were just sent with this movie with tits and ass. Just, hey, go watch this movie downstairs and don't bother anybody. And that's what we watched for like an hour and a half.
I don't know what I think mine was my first exposure to movie boobs was the Friday the 13th movies. And then I think it was the first one maybe, I don't know. And then later in my life of watching horror movies, I got to watch Queen of the Damned, which is basically a vampire movie.
Queen of the Damned. Who stars in that?
I don't know. Some African American woman with an unusual name. Yeah, it's been a while.
That's the Aaliyah one, no?
Maybe.
You gotta love deadpan, Carl. Let me show you what my aunt thought was appropriate for us to watch. I mean, that's the cover right there. She saw this cover and she said, "Yeah, that's what a bunch of young men should be watching."
Kind of interesting.
I mean, it is a very, very silly movie.
At least she didn't rent you Genociber. Boy, talk about adult anime. Whoa.
See, Luke says there's a demand for an Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. Apparently, the original cut was also much better. You know what? To tell the truth, I'm getting sick of all these Snyder cuts, Ayer cuts, Hamada cuts, this cut, that cut, director's cut. Look, the movie is the movie, okay? Anybody can say, hey, That movie that sucked, it was much better if we would have just did X, Y, and Z. There's a version that we could make that you guys will like. They're basically selling you the same movie over and over again. I mean, the Snyder Cut was supposedly all done. It was all in the can. It was all ready to go. But then they ended up having to reshoot a bunch of stuff because reasons. Because the Snyder Cut wasn't real. Because the Snyder Cut was just a figment of.
Oh no, I'll tell you why. Hold on to your britches, folks. I'm gonna get real.
Okay.
So, the reason why is, the guy broke down. He couldn't handle his career and all the stuff that happened to him and his family.
What are you talking about? Snyder?
Yeah. That's the reason why, instead of getting the Justice League that everyone wanted, they got the Justice League at first that nobody really wanted at all.
Well, I remember when Man of Steel came out, everybody was complaining it was a terrible movie.
I loved Man of Steel. I loved it, still do.
When Batman vs. Superman came out, people were complaining that it was a shit movie. So I don't understand why suddenly there was high hopes for the Suicide Squad or the Justice League. Justice League sucked. Batman vs. Superman sucked. Man of Steel was not that good.
I mean, let's just be frank here, okay?
But I'm telling you,
Zack Snyder isn't that good, okay? He just isn't. You let him do whatever he wants. What happens? Army of the Dead.
I haven't seen that. I heard good things though.
I heard bad things about it. I heard it's a train wreck.
Luke Skywalker says, but it's Warner Brothers who screws these movies, and we get awful versions that we do because of them. Was it Warner Brothers that decided to make Man of Steel as shitty as it was? I know Carl likes that movie.
I like it, but I like a few bad movies, so it's cool. I know that my tastes are different than everyone else's.
Ninja Kitty says Army of the Dead was very mediocre.
See, told you. I told you. You should listen to me. I told you.
Man of Steel, okay, it completely shits on the whole Superman mythos. It completely misses the point of Superman.
It's kind of I can't call it a fun Superman movie. It was. Heck, I mean,
Superman. Let's make Superman an emo, and then we'll make a movie about that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The whole idea of Superman killing Zod at the end was executed so poorly. It was just you have to build up to that, right? The whole idea is that Superman doesn't kill, right? Superman does whatever he has to uphold truth, justice, the American way, all the good things, mom and apple pie. So when he does kill somebody, it has to be a big moment. You have to build up to it. There was no build up. It was the first movie. He just fucking kills Zod, and that's the end of it.
I mean, yeah, it's just, it's kind of worth noting that I've seen that movie very few times, despite having it on my YouTube movies list. And I'll tell you something else. The second the movie that I saw after that had Russell Crowe in it was Noah, and I hated that movie so bad.
I've never seen Noah, but I've seen Man of Steel, and Man of Steel sucked. Okay, that's like
I'll agree with you. It's like it's every other remake. You know what I call the remake of Clash of the Titans?
What?
I call it Rash of the Titans.
Rhea says she enjoyed Army of the Dead, but not as much as the Suicide Squad. So we're getting mixed. The chat is mixed on whether or not Army of the Dead is good.
That's okay. I mean, everyone is the nice thing about people having individual opinions is that you get all sorts of opinions.
This is true, but I mean, not every opinion is as equal to other opinions.
Granted, that's true, but you just get to hear. You get to extend your feelers out there to see what people say and see what hits the wall. And that's the shit in the grand scheme of life.
I recommend watching the Suicide Squad, Carl. I recommend you watch it. It's a good movie.
If I get the opportunity to watch it, I'll watch it. But I made no promise. My brother's actually going to see it tonight.
You better warn him about the dick.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll let him. He doesn't want people to message him while he's watching the movie, so I'll let it be a surprise.
You're like, no spoiler, but look out for the dick.
Cosmic cock.
Let's see. Luke Skywalker also likes Army of the Dead. He says it wasn't as good as Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, but it was still a good zombie film. So there you go. We got two people who said that fucking Army of the Dead is good.
Basically, what I'm getting is it was okay, but it could have been better.
Well, it looks like I'm going to have to watch it and give you my opinion on it next week. Then we can discuss it since you actually saw it. And we'll have
I'm considering watching myself since it's going to be on Netflix, and I actually like Netflix as a service. So
yeah, I like that. I like the whole streaming.
And the trailer is really good. So,
any other thoughts on Suicide Squad, Carl?
No, I mean it sounds like it's all right. I mean,
it's good. It's not all right. It's fucking good. It's badass.
I mean,
it's through another bullet.
And what do you get? You get a whole lot of bullets.
That's right. They tell you that Superman got shot with a kryptonite bullet, and that's why the one guy's in jail.
I mean, if it were me, if I were going to kill Superman, I would have a kryptonite bullet enchanted with red sun radiation. Triple threat, baby. I'm surprised nobody in the DC universe has ever thought of that.
Well,
I mean, what is kryptonite? Is kryptonite impossible to create through magic or what?
I think so. But if we're going to talk kryptonite, we got to... The whole idea behind kryptonite is completely ridiculous because it is radiation that is being emitted at a certain wavelength, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got Lex Luthor, who's supposed to be a super genius. You got Brainiac, who's like a fucking supercomputer genius, right? And neither one of them can figure out how to recreate the same wavelength and just create artificial kryptonite and kill Superman.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a valid point. It is really idiotic. I mean, you could have bullets enchanted to pierce. It's just so weird that they're just not thinking this stuff up. Because I gotta tell you, if they were if they were being real here with comic books, all the heroes would be dead.
Pretty much. Do you know why they invented kryptonite, Carl?
To give Superman a weakness.
No.
Really?
The reason that kryptonite was invented was because the actor who played Superman on the radio show of Superman wanted a vacation.
Oh, criminy sake.
So they created kryptonite in order to put Superman on the shelf for a while so he could have a couple of days off.
To that guy, wherever he is, thanks, asshole.
All right, I think that's enough DC talk.
All right, that's
Luke
fair.
Skywalker's getting out of here. He's getting bored.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Well, we're going to go to the big news of the week. It's what everybody.
It's not Amico.
That's right. It's not Amico. CM Punk has joined AEW. What does it mean? Is it going to be the next coming of the New World Order? Are we going to have a huge, resurgence of wrestling into the mainstream, or is it going to be like a wet fart in church?
Is that like did CM Retro decide to be a wrestler?
No. CM Punk or Chick Magnet Punk is a Chicago-based
Oh,
wrestler.
criminy sake.
Criminy's sake, what, Carl?
I mean, does his wiener shoot bullets like a Tommy gun or what?
No. Chick Magnet was his original name when he was a backyard wrestler. He was in a group called the Chick Magnets, and it was Chick Magnet Punk and Chick Magnet something else. Eventually, he grew up. He kept the CM as a tribute to his roots. He became CM Punk, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, current wrestler in the world. He's really good. It's really good. I like him. I enjoy him. But I don't think he has the appeal, the mainstream popularity, or the reach of someone like a Hulk Hogan, a Rock, John Cena. And I know wrestling fans, they're really excited. They're, oh my God, CM Punk is in AEW. They've arrived. They've made it. This is going to signal the restart of the Monday Night Wars and all this great wrestling shit. And I'm going to tell you, I don't see it, Carl. I don't see it. I mean, you
Now,
barely know who this
I
guy
do
is.
have an opinion about wrestling, so I do have. See, the thing is, wrestling is theater. It's not a sport, no matter what anyone out there says, it's theater. It's basically a story between good and evil. It's like a comic book, which is why it appeals to men.
JM De Los Santos says, I don't think Carl knows anything about wrestling. CM Punk is buddies with Colt Cabana and an AEW producer and wrestler. They had a falling out. I don't think he means it in a rude way. I think he just meant that you not interested. I don't think he knows that you used to watch wrestling.
Oh, I used to watch wrestling, and every time it was about good versus evil. Like the on the WWE, the Un-Americans versus everyone else. They were the bad guys, and everyone else who were against them were the good guys. And what happened, as always with good versus evil, the Un-Americans used to falter. The same with Brock Lesnar. It's just there's nothing wrong with that. That's just how it is. And there are athletics involved. It's athletic theater since there are some athletics involved, but it's not a sport.
No, it's not a sport. But this whole CM Punk, he came out, he gave a little speech, how he, when he left Ring of Honor, that was when he had left the whole wrestling scene. He's trying to make it sound like his time in the WWE was, basically a non-issue. It wasn't real wrestling. It was sports entertainment. He wasn't a wrestler anymore. But now he's back. He's back in AEW. He's back in wrestling. And it felt weak. Didn't have the oomph of a CM Punk pipe bomb that we're used to. And this was in Chicago. This was here in Chicago. His hometown. I was looking for something a lot more impactful, something a lot more personal. It was weak. The whole AEW, was it Rampage, the Friday night show that just debuted a week ago.
Yeah.
It was weak, Carl. I mean, I'm not familiar. This was the first ever AEW anything that I've watched. I'm familiar with some of the announcers, some of the wrestlers, some of the older guys. The newer people, no familiarity with them. And I wasn't impressed. The opening match was a tag team match between two teams that I've never heard of before. They didn't impress me. The ending, the finish, that was impressive. The bigger guy, Luchasaurus, he basically threw a guy in the air, and the other guy grabbed him and spun over and did a power bomb. It was an impressive move. That was the biggest thing on the show. But really, really, this is not going to be a Monday Night War. This is not going to be resurgence of wrestling into the mainstream. It's not going to be like when WCW and WWF were competing. De Los Santos asked earlier about Vince McMahon saying AEW is not competition, and I agree. They're not competition.
Of course, they're not competition. Vince McMahon is a genius when it comes to, getting the fans interested in wrestling. He just is. It's hard to do. Yeah, I was going to get to that comment. Honestly, I can't answer that since I don't have enough knowledge. Well, I don't watch much WrestleMania now, and I didn't before in my life, so I can't answer that question. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I just can't answer that question. Maybe if I cared enough to watch all of it, but I don't. I have better things to do in my life.
What is better than watching two sweaty men in really tight pants?
Sounds like porn to me. Sounds like gay porn.
I wouldn't know. I don't watch gay porn, Carl.
I mean, think about it. It's just because I have a really good imagination. That's why.
But I've never imagined gay porn.
Just that's the kind of thing. It's like kind of the same as football. Why I can't watch football.
I can't watch sports, period.
I love baseball, but that's, but I did a bit of, I'm like most, I have this theory that most men either want to be an athlete, were an athlete at some point, or want to be in sports, were in sports. Third one, but that's basically it. I fall into that. I fall into that equation. I fall in that equation, so it's
Ninja
why
says, hold on. Ninja Kitty says, I may know someone who has worked with CM Punk and some of the AEW crew. Trust me, it won't be mainstream Monday Night War. Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be. A lot of wrestling fans are building this up as some really huge, monumental moment, and it's not. I mean, it's a huge moment for AEW. I love CM Punk. He's a great wrestler. It does show that they're trying to get the best of the best on the show, but
it's kind of like the Intellivision Amico.
How so, Carl?
You get the same kind of people, the wrestlers. They kind of remind me of all those hardcore Amico fans who like the System and Tommy Tallarico. This is, in my opinion, at least, it's the same kind of group.
Yeah.
Now I know people are different me on that, so that's just my thought, folks.
Well, my thought is CM Punk's going to be good in AEW. It's going to have a lot of good wrestling matches. Some interesting storylines will probably come out of it, but it will not be this big, huge mainstream moment. No one's going to really care outside of the wrestling fanatics, the AEW fans. It's not going to steal any thunder from WWF, who I haven't watched them in a while, but the last time I seen it, the WWF or WWE is a pretty shitty product. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, to answer Have an Amico Days question, I think Darius is usually too stoned to appreciate something like wrestling.
He was. I think he did have an AEW watch along or something the other day. I don't really follow his channel. I think I noticed that.
Every time I see him do a video, he's smoking a joint.
Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, if you can't do a video without being that stoned, I mean, evaluate your.
Ninja Kitty says he wants to hop in and discuss some wrestling.
Come on in.
But yeah, like I said, he's a hometown guy. I like him. Love CM Punk. Love his matches. Love his mic work.
Been out of the
business for a while.
I've never been in a position to tell anyone they shouldn't like something. If you want to like something, like it. By all means, go for it. It's because, like I said, that's a flavor is the spice of life, as they say.
JM says you shouldn't be discussing something you don't know, like wrestling. On video games, you have good takes.
I could, but I'm going to. I shouldn't, but you know what? I'm going to. Waka waka.
What's up, Ninja Kitty?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Good stuff. Yeah, I was gonna throw in my wrestling 2 cents there, since Carl
Go
hates,
for it.
Carl hates on the wrestling so much.
I'm not hating. I just have more of a practical point of view. It's just I just have more of a more of a realistic point of view. But I totally get why people like wrestling.
Because they like watching 2 oiled up dudes rubbing each other. Rubbing up against each other.
It's a kind of you take it apart. It's a good, decent storytelling. It
was popular in the 80s, I'll say, when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because I believed, because I was like 7 years old. I'm like, okay, this guy is legit.
It's like
Undertaker legit was like
a zombie, man. Or that Sergeant Slaughter was legitimately in the army.
In the 90s,
it was real.
In the 90s, it was just entertaining. Like no
one.
Oh really
yeah, it's just entertainment.
Because it was more adult oriented. Well, it was definitely adult oriented and whatnot. So in the late 90s, early 2000s, when the Rock was really popular, and it's totally different from what it is the last, 15 years or so.
Yeah.
So that's why the decline, because, well, at this point, I assume it's mostly just old guys and really young kids watching wrestling. So.
Oh, we got a question here for Ninja Kitty. It says, who do you know, a producer in AEW? Don't you think that since WWE ratings are going down and AEW goes up, AEW will eventually surpass WWE in maybe 5 years or so?
Well, I'll go back to what I said there. Because I don't want to dox myself, because it'd be kind of obvious. I know CM Punk left the WWF, or WWE, sorry, and then he tried joining he went into UFC.
Yep.
So I may know somebody who may have trained him and trained with him. So I did get to hear some of the inside stories of so like when he did start, there's a lot of they try to keep it hidden, being the UFC, of how his progress was going training, but it's somewhat leaked out that he really sucked in a nice way of putting it. And physically he's just like an average man. Like, he is athletic, but it wasn't like, he was physically something like Kurt Angle at the time. It was a gold medal, Olympic athlete. Like, he was a legit athlete. CM Punk was just like a backyard wrestler.
Yeah.
So it was well known that he was going to get his ass kicked. They just wanted to kind of hide it until he was on the show.
I mean, he's probably not like Sergeant Slaughter or not Hulk Hogan, who legitimately taught us out. His voice sounds like he's tough.
Yeah, he also wasn't like 6'6" and like 280 pounds.
Yeah,
of steroids.
That's true.
He's like a 160, 70-pound dude or whatever.
To be fair, when they found Hulk Hogan, he was just playing in a band. He was just playing guitar in some local band.
This is true, but he also was a big dude, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure he didn't have like that big of muscles. I don't think he was doing steroids to be a fucking band member.
Not at that time, though. There's pictures of him playing the guitar and stuff. He's still big. He's still 6'6" and like 230 pounds type of thing, though. Either way, CM Punk guy, he apparently he was a decent dude, but people liked him because at the time when he was popular, so 7 years ago, he at least had a bit of edge on him, like attitude or edge, because everybody is so watered down nowadays that it's so bland and boring to watch unless you are like a 6-year-old kid. So that's why people liked him. But his athletically, he's never going to be like a mainstream star. Someone like The Rock, you look at him, he's just like the perfect specimen type of thing. The same with like Austin. Like, they look like big, tough, strong guys. So 7 years later now, CM Punk is back and he looks old. And I watched a little bit of his comeback, but he's kind of, like you said, he's kind of bland. Yeah, he's just like an average dude. Maybe slightly smaller than average. because he was 100 and, I think 70 or 80 pounds. So that's not a big guy considering The Rock is like 280 pounds or 60 pounds or whatever he is of muscle.
J.M. De Los Santos wants to know. He said, "Did CM Punk and Colt Cabana ever become friends again? They had a falling out when WWE sued them for the podcast Colt did. Any inside scoop? Are they friends?"
Well, I have no idea, but I assume at this point, the next point I was going to make is I know some people who know some people. Like to keep it nice and vague there, who wrestle in AEW. I told you before I had like a lot of other wrestling stories, a lot of funny ones with older wrestlers and stuff. But
I mean, Ninja Kitty does sound like a wrestler.
No, actually, I do have a wrestling story, but that's geez, I don't want to derail it completely. I was in the ring. I saved a wrestler in the ring one day. I'll tell that one in a bit. But
Yeah,
to answer that second question, there, I'm pretty sure the money. Money makes everyone friends, and they have what the term is called, a money mark. The guy who runs AEW, there owns it. Tony Khan. It's completely obvious he's a mark too. You don't even need to like really watch the product to see the guy and how he acts and whatnot. So his dad is a billionaire. So with all that money going around, everyone will be friends and be best friends with each other. And they are taking it's usually what happens, and it happens on the local scene on a much smaller level. There'll be a money mark and it happened around where I live too. Somebody has a little bit of money, and everyone tries to start a new little promotion, the next Ring of Honor and stuff, and they just pretty much bleed the money mark dry because they're like, oh, we'll invite this guy over, and it's so hard to make money with wrestling, especially on the independent level. You don't even make money. Like I don't think anyone makes money on the independent level. Like it's very difficult. So now that they have a billionaire money mark, everyone's joining in. There's I'm sure Colt Cabana doesn't care that he's getting a 6-figure salary if he has to apologize to CM Punk.
My dad used to work at Hertz rent a car, and he told me that they may sound like they're enemies on screen, but they're actually usually friends in real life or something like that.
Yeah, but Colt Cabana and CM Punk had a real life falling out.
But yeah, I mean,
as many talks if you're giving him millions of dollars, CM Punk millions of dollars, and Colt Cabana hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They're going to do the realistic thing. Yeah.
And it's such a light schedule and so easy. It's like a dream job.
Yeah, Ninja Kitty says CM Punk's appeal is he's a good talker and storyteller. He also wrestles well, not physically imposing though. Yeah, I mean he's not physically imposing, but at the very least, when he was in WWE, Ring of Honor, when he was younger, he had, like he said, like Ninja Kitty said, he had that edge. He had the. He was more hip to what was going on. He just seems like an old dude, like your uncle just wandered off into the fucking ring.
I've tried watching AEW a bit, and they have an opportunity, and they do have like some good talent, but I'm not sure. Like you said, you watched one of the matches. I didn't watch the whole episode, but for example, they had the Luchasaurus, which is kind of dumb because the guy has like the dinosaur thing, but whatever. But his partner, Marco Stunt, like, have you ever seen that guy? Like, if you haven't, Google image that guy. It's like a 5'2", 105-pound, like weird looking person, and then they have like a guy like him fighting against a 280-pound muscle guy and like make it seem like he can beat him up. It kind of we all know it's fake, but like it's so far-fetched that it's hard to watch. It's not even funny.
Yeah, it's so fake that people don't really care,
Maybe I'm just old, but the comedy they use is just in AEW is just it's just bad. Like it's just not funny at all. So like I used to like in the old days, like with The Rock and whatnot. Like The Rock is super funny. Like you just watch his stuff on YouTube, like his promos. They're still funny like 20 years later. And nowadays it's just you see like Chris Jericho, who's like 55 and bloated, trying to be funny, and it's just like no laughs at all. Like it's just I don't know. They'll probably beat WWE in ratings because WWE is so bad itself, but the overall ratings are just going to keep going down between the both of them. It's like it's not going to be as mainstream like it was in the 80s or the late 90s. Like I don't
That's
know anyone
true.
who watches wrestling. Like even in the late 90s, they had a lot of local shows, a lot of local wrestling when it was popular, and you'd see like 1,000 people go to the show and stuff. And now, like they have local wrestling shows. There's like 30 people, and then it's like the same 30 people go to show to show. It's like very
Pretty much.
very minimal. And no one really cares about it at all.
Yeah, I don't think that AEW is ever going to beat the WWE in ratings because if they really get to that level, like it starts getting really close, Vince McMahon will just throw some money at a fucking Cena or a Rock or somebody and bring them back, and ratings will go up. It'll get a little bump for a couple of weeks, and AEW will be fucking blood dry. AEW is the Amico of fucking wrestling. Let's just put
But
it to that.
with an investor though.
Yeah.
With an actual real investor.
I mean,
Amico has David Perry. David
Does.
Perry's their Tony Khan.
it's so weird because
Smash JT, who's
I
their
do know
Tony
a
Khan.
David Perry, but I definitely doubt they use the same guy.
No, I don't think it's your David Perry. So why don't you tell us this famous wrestling story? You saved somebody in the ring.
Oh,
We work in
Great
security. Were you wrestling?
oh no, I thought. So one of the knocks on AEW, and one of the YouTube channels I watch, it's controversial. It's Jim Cornette and his rants and ravings about the AEW, and I don't agree 100% with him, but I do agree with a lot of it. And one of his complaints is a lot of the guys in the ring now look, they're not physically imposing, just like what I said with that Marco Stunt guy. And it's just like back in the 80s, everyone was roided up, gigantic, and 6'3", 6'2". Nowadays, you just get like fat, bland white dudes and stuff in the ring. So that happens a lot on the local circuit. And one time I was in a country show, like in the country where there's a lot of hicks, and the Honky Tonk Man was there. That was the big attraction. That guy was
You were in
hilarious, too.
Arkansas?
It'd be the equivalent almost.
Wow.
And the local wrestling, they had a lot of like unathletic wrestlers, and they're on the show, and the guy was mouthing off to the crowd, and they were a bunch of drunk rednecks, and this lady had enough of this guy, so she got in the ring and grabbed him in a hold, and he couldn't break out. And like this is like a I don't know, a lady who's like in her mid 40s, drunk, probably like 180, 200 pounds. And he couldn't get out, and like everyone was laughing, which makes it kind of sad. Like if you're a fan of wrestling, that everyone's laughing at it. And I had to go in the ring and get her off of him. I didn't have to; I just did it because I felt bad for the guy. And everyone was laughing and making fun of him, and I went in the ring, and I had to save this man from this lady who was in her 40s, who was on top of him at that time. It would be the equivalent of if you're into like mixed martial arts, like full mount, like she's on top of him, had his hands pinned down, and I don't remember what she was saying, and I had to go in the ring and like pull her off because he couldn't get her off. I'm like, this is kind of killing the image of like
breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe, and it was just hilarious, and that happened a few times, and it was amusing, but if you were a fan, it's so sad.
All right, as you can see on the screen, we got the guy on the far right is Luchasaurus.
Yeah, that guy looks
tough.
tough.
On the far left is the Marco Stunt that Ninja Kitty was referring to. He looks like a little boy.
He's not a boy. He's a full adult.
He's a full adult.
And they have him fighting against guys who are as big as the guy on the right, and like making it seem like he can flip the guy on the right. And it's just not realistic at all.
No, it's not. Like I said, AEW has a lot of good athletes. They do some athletic moves, but the show is bland. It's I don't even know how it could be so bland. You got Jim Ross, Taz on the mic. I think who else? Excalibur is on the mic with them. I think they got like 4 or 5 fucking.
Got Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, Tony. They got like 4
And sometimes
announcers.
they have Mark Henry.
And Mark Henry does backstage interviews and stuff. And I don't know. It's like everyone's just phoning it in. Like I'm just collecting.
You're just taking the money from the mark.
Yeah. Like this is the biggest, like the amount of talent, and this is why I compared it to the Amico, because the amount of talent that they got there as far as like the announcers, the staff, the managers, and some of the older wrestlers. They should
The
be in
crew.
a position where they could eventually surpass the WWE. But it's not going to happen. It's like I said, everyone's just phoning it in. They're just bleeding the money mark dry. Probably like 2 or 3 years, it's going to fade away and no one's even going to remember. It's going to be like, what was AEW? Do you remember that? Sad. Anything you want to add to this, Carl?
No. I mean, it sounds like a name of a root beer or something. But
That's ANW.
no, I don't really have an opinion. I said I said my piece already about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
Carl wants to get back
AEW.
into the Fantasy Star Online talk.
No,
I
we
can
got
call
a big
Vito up.
one.
We can get Vito up.
I played
We
Fantasy
can
Star
do it.
Online, and I think I didn't think the movement was bad.
I just didn't like the controls. I mean, it was really weird. Like, when you were in, there were situations where it was next to impossible to get out of because of the way evasion works. Because it was basically stat driven, and if you have 2 or 3 enemies around you, good luck getting out of that.
Maybe the issue is, Carl, your controller had controller lag.
Oh no,
Maybe
my
Carl
controllers
needs
were
to get
fine.
good.
My
Where's Leo?
controllers were fine. No, I got as far as very hard in ruins. I did okay. I haven't had the best daggers in the game, so
Hell yeah. All right. So I think that's enough AEW talk. We're going to get into one more issue. We're going to be talking Halo Infinite, the launch issues. I don't know if Ninja Kitty wants to stick around for this. Or...
he's an Xbox guy, so he'll probably have an
expert at
opinion.
Halo.
Huh?
I'm kind
He'll
of an
have
expert
an-
at Halo.
He'll have an opinion on it, I think.
So Halo Infinite, still no launch date. However, they're letting us know off the bat that when it launches, we're not going to get the co-op campaign and we're not going to get the Forge at launch. Now, the co-op campaign is going to be about 3 months after launch, and the Forge is going to be about 6 months after launch. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is like they're giving you a third of the game, 50% of the game. I don't know.
I mean, they did release the Forge later on in Halo 5.
Yeah, but
It's
we're
out-
past that. We're at the point where this should be bundled in with it at launch.
This is like the Amico first-person shooters, right?
Yeah.
Supposed
Yeah,
to release last fall.
yeah,
It was
that's
supposed to
pretty
release
true.
last fall. Not only that, but I mean, as you go through the games, as you get sequels and stuff, the modes and things from the previous game should be implemented at launch. There should be no.
But this
Well,
is a
we
brand
know
new
you really
engine.
like that co-op thing, but we're gonna wait like fucking 3 months. It's very bad prioritizing features of the game.
Tragic irony is that the Bethesda is going to work on more Doom Eternal stuff. And release it. I think they were working on, but don't.
I thought I read that they're reworking the mechanics of throwing a grenade because it wasn't quite on par. So they're going to show a luncheon demo of. Wait a minute, I'm getting things mixed up. Never mind.
You're getting mixed up.
No,
That's a
it's
joke, Carl. I'm making fun of the cornhole thing. That's why.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
Are we still talking about Fantasy Star? Come on.
No,
Come
in
on.
general. Come on.
I know what's happening here. Tony, guess what? The campaign is a complete mess for Halo Infinite.
Is it now?
Were you impressed when they showed the first video? It was last year, I guess, where everyone said it looked like crap.
It did look like crap.
It did look like crap, and then people are like, "This does not look next gen at all." So then that's when they brought back, I forget the guy's name, the guy who worked on the previous ones, who knew what he was doing. So I assume he joined Microsoft and saw what a mess the campaign was, and they scrapped almost everything and are reworking it. And that's why I'm assuming the campaign is delayed, because it was in such bad shape. They're like, it was a full scrap and rebuild. Even in the last video they showed, it didn't look that great. It looked good, but not great.
It's a disaster, or so it seems to be, at least.
The only thing that I say that is actually sounds good was that split screen multiplayer was confirmed, available day one on all Xbox consoles, but not on PC for whatever reason.
Is it supposed to be an offline? Is this supposed to be an off or just a perpetually online game?
It's both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't worry, the mechanics will be better than Phantasy Star Online. I guarantee you.
Well, to be fair, that's not a hard thing to accomplish. That is not a hard thing to accomplish. Awful mechanics, and it does get boring.
I'm guessing you guys didn't play the beta from the other weekend, the multiplayer?
No, I did not.
My friends are playing it. It looked great. The multiplayer looks perfect, so that's good.
Well, at least that's pretty solid.
In Halo 5, like, I played tons of the multiplayer, probably, I don't know, like 500 hours of it or something. It was real good.
Yeah.
Look at them graphics. Next gen is come home, baby.
That's beautiful.
It looks like a gorilla wandered into fucking Halo. Fucking Harambe.
Well, it looks like Halo 2. That's what it looks like. Like the remaster.
You know, you joke, but I tell you, when that whole Harambe incident happened here, it was a shit show, and there are rumors people on social media chase the parents of that kid off of social media.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were not the most popular people in this area. I'll say that much.
So that happened right where you're at, Carl? You were there? You saw
Oh, yeah. I didn't see it live, but I live in the Cincinnati area, so...
Nope. Carl's been doxxed.
Yep, Carl doxed himself. That's it. Gotta end the stream. Gotta end the show. Carl's going into hiding now.
No, but yeah, it was pretty... See, the reason it was so big of a deal here is that gorilla had... like secretariat level of genealogy. You know, it's one of his parents were one of the most famous gorillas in the area. I think it was called like King Tut or something. I don't know. And that's what caused the Cincinnati Zoo to change the I guess I don't want to say the exhibits or whatever, so kids can't wander into them anymore.
That's no fun. You gotta let kids wander into the fucking gorilla.
Don't ask me. I'm not arguing with you. That's as I understand it. Believe me, you get no arguments from me.
So, any other thoughts on Halo Infinite and their whole?
It's maybe they'll do well with it, but
it's a free game if you have Game Pass, so can't really complain.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it is. It is free on Game Pass, but if you actually want to buy the game, you know that's a whole lot. You know,
you could always complain. Always.
Yeah, you can complain, which is I have no problem doing, but
I'd rather be delayed than released in absolute garbage.
I agree with
I'm
Ninja
hoping
Kitty.
It's a full rebuild.
I agree with Ninja Kitty. I really would prefer to be delayed as well. I may never play it, but I would rather be delayed. You know, now I don't know when they're going to stop developing it and just release it.
Never.
I don't know.
They're planning to work on it for the next like 5 years, like, and constantly add different seasons and all the multiplayer stuff.
Wow.
It's a big deal.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what the best
Sounds
part
like
is?
it. What's that?
The best part is because you said it was split screen. It'll be able to bring your friends over and turn on the lights in your room, and you'll be able to bring the family back together again. Isn't that great?
God. Family fun.
I'm referencing a certain video that I watched earlier today.
Yeah, I did see that. You had a nice little watch along. You didn't let me know beforehand, so I had to watch the replay.
It was on the whim.
Kind of reminds me of an X-Play episode I saw once where they did a Medea Halo. Yeah, you can actually watch it on YouTube. I can send you a link of which one I think it is.
Tommy on it?
No. No.
All right. We're done with the Halo Infinite. We're gonna go with chat Q&A. Anybody in the chat got anything they want to discuss? Any topics? You want to know what Carl's shoe size is? Just let us know.
11 to 13. It just depends on the shoe.
Oh wow,
that's a big
range.
Yeah, like 11 to 13 is.
Well, I mean, okay, it depends. Like I said, it really depends on the shoe. So it could be 11 or 12. Generally, I'm like a 12, personally speaking. That's, I think, the average of the shoes I end up with.
But Carl more of a sandals man, though.
No, I'm kind of a barefooted man myself.
Flat out nude.
No, I'm more of an underwear guy than being naked.
Oh, yeah, at least you can answer the door then.
I don't think we need to know this. This is not things that no one has asked.
All right. Come on, folks.
They want to know more about Carl's Fantasy Star complaints and his battle of Vito and whatnot.
You want to know? Well, I don't give a fuck about Vito. Yeah, I mean, if you want to know what I think about Fantasy Star, my core complaints, let's start with the claws. They suck ass. The claws were legitimately terrible weapons, and so were the boomerangs and the shotguns.
I just found the game to be boring.
It got boring. It is boring. You know, and after a while, you know, if you haven't been bored at first, you're going to be. I got all the way to the end. I could have beat Darkfalls probably if I had a little more time to grind, but I said no. I'm done.
So, what games are you guys playing now?
Fallout 3, New Vegas 4, Skyrim. Maybe I'm gonna try to get in Oblivion when my final surgery is finished.
Those are some big games.
Yeah.
I don't really like you to know that Vito is great.
Ooh.
You're entitled to your opinion, Rayo.
Even if it's wrong?
An opinion is an opinion, you know. It's people are entitled. I don't tell people they can't they can't have a positive opinion about someone. You know, if she wants to think nice, you know, that's her business.
Tony, what game are you playing?
What's that?
What games are you playing?
What game are you playing?
Currently, I am playing the Marvel's Avengers game. They just released the Black Panther expansion. Yeah, I know. The game is not great. It is pretty shitty, but I am a Marvel mark, and I will play the game until it fucking goes offline.
It's not that bad. I just thought it was disappointing what people said. I thought it was good, but not enough content is what I heard.
If you like the game, then get more power to you.
CM Retro says he's playing Full Blast on PS4. It's a vertically scrolling shooter. I've never heard of this. This is right up my alley. I should look it up.
Looking at it. What the heck? It looks like an Amico game. What's wrong with you there? It's a joke. It's a joke. No, it doesn't.
I know it's a joke. It's
Actually, it kind of does. Never mind. I take that back.
Well, whatever.
Monster Hunter Stories 2. Ooh.
Ew.
You guys are playing all these big games here.
Sounds like a visual novel.
CM Retro wants to know how is that game. I was thinking of getting it. I'm not sure which one he means, unless he's talking to Rhea. Unless the chat is talking amongst themselves. Yeah, Full Blast. I'm looking at this. It does look like a decent shooter.
Does it look like an Amico game, though?
It does, actually. It does look
I
like
told you it did. It's okay. I won't hold it against them.
That's all right.
I have, you know what game I'm playing right now? Of course you won't guess.
What's it?
I downloaded a game from Game Pass, and it's called Bug Fables, the everlasting.
Oh, that's a
sapling.
good looking one too.
And it is the most, like, I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't sued them because it is copying Paper Mario. It's almost like they only changed the sprite, like the characters, because the game mechanics are almost like 1-to-1 to Paper Mario.
And boy,
It is good,
and boy, is the Switch version, physical version, expensive.
Is it? I got the Game Pass
yeah.
free version, so
Yeah,
it's fun. It's cute.
It is. It's cool. It's cool. I don't hate it. I actually like Bug Fable.
If you like
There's
Paper
actually-
Mario, it is like identical to Paper Mario, almost in every way.
I kind of like Paper Mario.
So that's what I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm playing that in Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity, which is so long.
I legitimately cannot play that because it's a prequel.
Is it now? Well,
Yeah, it's a prequel.
Let's take a look at this Full Blast trailer so everyone can see what we were talking about. What CM Retro is playing right now.
Wow, it does look like an Amico game.
No, it looks better.
I mean, it looks pretty fun. It looks very hectic. It's simple.
It's up my alley. I like those games. I used to play Raiden 2 every day at lunch at the local place where we had our lunches on the arcade. It's so good.
I mean, this looks like a fun little game. I mean, it depends on the price whether or not I would pick this up. If we're talking in the $10 range, there's an easy pick.
You should message the developers and tell them, hey, if you give me a free code, I'll say good things about it.
No, I would never do that.
Tony is too honest.
I might message
know.
them to get a free code, just be like, hey, I'll fucking review it. But I'm not going to give you a good review necessarily.
Oh, good. It's on Xbox. Maybe it'll be on the
I think
Game
it's
Pass.
pretty old.
As a fan, yeah.
No one cares, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I mean, the game is like 2 years old. I don't think they're going to be giving me review copies anytime soon. Rhea just threw away some money. She picked up Balan Wonderland, which is a spiritual successor to Nights in the Dreams.
Hopefully she got on sale.
Yeah, it's not a spiritual successor to Night in the Dreams. Whoever told you that, Rhea, is a fucking moron, to say the least.
I told her that. Why you say that?
The same people who say that that the Outer World's a spiritual successor to New Vegas.
Well, it is similar to it. I played Outer Worlds.
No, it doesn't have the flashlight, which I really needed. It doesn't have. It replaced VATS with tactical time dilation.
$20 is good. Phew. Korea.
I mean, if you like it, Ray, that's cool. You know, have all the fun you want with it.
No, I mean, Nights in the Dreams is like a side-scrolling collectathon type thing. Balan Wonderland is a platformer with crap mechanics. It has like over 100 transformations, and they're all redundant. And
Nights into I tried to play Nights in the Dreams, and I kind of got turned off when you had to go fly your guy around.
Yeah, Balan Wonderland has no story. There's no story in the game. You have to read the website and supplementary material to know what the fuck's going on.
I
at
thought the
end
issue
of
was the
every
controls
level,
in the game.
controls suck. You can't
It kind
jump.
of
There's
reminded
no
me of
jump.
Cameo,
There's no
if
jumping.
you remember that game.
Oh, I
Yeah.
fucking hate Cameo.
More than you
I
hate
can't-
Fantasy Star Online controls?
I don't hate. I mean, the controls are just awkward in Fantasy Star Online, but Cameo is just fucking weird.
Well, you shapeshift into a bunch of different stuff. It's somewhat similar to Balan, but
Ugh.
it wasn't terrible. And for $20, it's not a bad price. I'd feel bad
It's not worth-
if you had
it's not
spent
worth it.
$80 like full price, then that would be not good.
No, Balan Wonderland's not worth $20. That you got ripped off, Rhea. Sorry.
But it's not like she's gonna lose sleep on it, or maybe she will. Who knows?
Who knows? If you got a physical copy and you didn't open it, I would take it back. That's just my recommendation.
Hey, she didn't spend $2,000 on an Amico shell. Like, come on now.
She did get the physical edition. I mean, yeah, it's not good. I suggest go on YouTube, look up Austin Eruption Balan Wonderland. He does a great breakdown of the game. He goes over the supplementary stuff that you have to know in order to understand the game itself and what the hell's going on.
Is it something where they can throw an update out to make it a lot better? Or is
No,
it just so broken?
it's so broken. So broken. Like I said, there's like 100 transformations in Balan, right?
Yeah.
But you have, like, you can't jump. There's no jump. You have to get a certain transformation to jump.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
When you die,
Ew.
you lose the costumes. The costumes aren't permanent. So you have to, like, collect them.
Oh,
But you
man.
can only collect, like, 5 or something like that. It's like, there's a limited amount that you can have at a time.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Ew.
So it's just right into the game design then. Too bad.
Bad game
Ew.
I just remember it coming out and reviewing poorly. And then the price drop, that's usually a sign of something. When it goes from full price to discounted to half price within like a month, that's usually a sign that something didn't go too well. That's unfortunate.
Rhea said maybe it'll be worth more than $20 one day.
Maybe.
Because no one bought it. It might be. It'll be like ET where they'll dump it in the garbage and there'll only be like 5 copies out, with hers being one.
Yeah,
There's
I put the link in the chat to the video I was talking about. But I mean,
There.
go ahead, Carl.
Well, no, go on. I can wait.
I was gonna say in Balan Wonderworld there are quick time events that you have to do to get 100%.
Ew.
And it's the same quick time event every time. Every time you do it, it's the same event.
Like the same inputs, or
No, the same like animation. It's
Oh,
literally
okay.
like the same. And I think the inputs are probably the same too.
so it's like classic PS2 type games then.
Yeah.
A lot of the classic ones that first started introducing them. The same thing. Well, geez. Hopefully she bought something else that's better than that to play.
Oh,
That's why I like
man.
the Game Pass. If the game sucks, I didn't pay for it, so just delete it and install something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way. I saw the reviews. I mean, and it's classic
Oh.
example of, it's got a good pedigree, it's got good names attached to it, and the game is just garbage.
Like 600 years of experience attached to it.
Yeah.
Rhea, you should not be buying physical versions of games to be so they can be in investments. It's a terrible idea.
Why do you say
She
that,
also
Carl?
got Shin Megami
She's-
Tensei. It's Tensei, not Sensei. Come on, Rhea.
Tensei, whatever.
Oh, maybe it's
She
a
put
different
Sensei.
one. It's not
Yeah,
about a master.
She got the knockoff version. She got screwed again. But, Shin Megami Tensei. I love those games. I love.
Not bad games I want to play. That makes sense.
I mean, I hope everyone's buying games they want to play. They're just not buying shit for the hell of it.
Have you not watched the YouTube videos of people who just buy endless amounts of everything just to fill their shelves?
No, what videos are those?
Oh, there's a guy named OEB Pete, and
I
There's-
mean,
plenty of other guys.
I mean,
Uh,
my only problem with Pete is really not a problem at all. I mean, it just strikes me as
Canadian.
weird.
That's
Yeah,
your
he's
she's
Canadian.
Canadian. Dirty
No,
Canadians.
not that. It's just like, you know, like the fact that he always posts videos every day.
well, I envy him. I wish I could make as many videos as Pete does.
But I mean, it's not like his videos are long. You know, they're usually like, you know, anywhere to a few minutes to half an hour. So it's not that big of a deal. He's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
bad.
doing
You
that.
know, I kind of respect that he can be positive on his channel.
I don't. Positivity sucks. It's terrible. Never be positive.
You know.
The only thing I'm positive about is how much everything sucks.
Now, if you want, you know, someone who has really awful taste, I mean, look at the Metal Jesus crew. I mean, I like Metal Jesus' videos are okay sometimes, but you know, yeah, they can be really bad.
You don't like the crew? You're
I
not a fan
mean-
of the crew? So
I
you
mean,
and Darius
where
do
do
have
I
something in common.
Where do I start with John Hancock?
At the beginning.
I mean,
start at the beginning. That's usually where
That
people start.
guy, he scams people even with his
Scams.
even with his GoFundMe or whatever the hell it's called. Oh shit.
His museum?
No. I'll probably think of it. He has like a membership service on some other site, and he
Patreon?
uses it to. That's it. Thank you very much.
His OnlyFans.
You know, and he outright even admits that he's scamming people. You know, he begs them to buy him video games.
I don't think he admits to scamming people. That'd be kind of
He admits he does admit to begging. He does admit to
a
begging
weird thing, Carl.
people for video games, which, in my general opinion, is kind of a scam. So maybe it's just a me thing, but you know, he begs people too much, too often. And my problem with the Metal Jesus crew in general is my problem with most YouTubers like them. You know, they get too accustomed to getting shit for free.
Everybody loves free shit, though, Carl.
Yeah, but when you are getting free stuff that often from companies and you do reviews for them, the reliability of your reviews becomes questionable.
And then I took that personal.
You know, and they can say it doesn't have any factor, but you know, it matters to me. I trust people more when I hear that they've bought the game. Like, okay, Ray just bought that Balan game or whatever. I take her review more seriously than Metal Jesus or Radical Reggie or, you know,
Tony TGD.
Yeah.
That's
what
that's
have
chill.
you. Now, with that said, John Riggs seems to be at least somewhat the most honest among them. Don't quote me. Just that's what it seems like.
Well, I heard this one quote one time from a guy named Carl. He said that John Riggs is the most
I mean, you know, it's
honest of them. So I just want to quote that from someone named Carl.
okay, whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you, Carl. I just bugging you, but the video. Hey, you guys want to hear the story of how I found out about the Miko?
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yes, you do want to.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go off on that. I heard about it when it first was released, or first announced. Didn't think much of it, and then I watched the YouTube channel called the Last Gamer, the guy with the massive collection, or who had the massive collection. Still on YouTube. You should check it out. And he was talking about when the Switch was released, how he tried to get a copy of the Switch before anyone else in Australia, and how Nintendo was going to give him a copy, but of like the physical, like the hardware, but he had to follow a script of what they wanted him to say in his videos, and he didn't want to do that. So he was talking about that, and he brought up Happy Console Gamer and Victor Lucas, and because the last gamer said Nintendo wanted me to say these exact points. Then he played last gamer, or not last gamer, Happy Console Gamer and Victor Lucas doing those exact points, showing that they're shilling like exactly word for word what Nintendo wanted. And I used to watch Victor Lucas on TV because he used to be on TV. So I searched him up on YouTube, and he had an interview with Tommy Tallarico, and then I watched that interview and read the comments. I don't remember who wrote the comments, but they posted like look up YouTube for Nintendo gaming. It was either Gaming Racist or Nintendo sex games or whatever. And then that's when I found the video. I can't remember if it's Osima Vision or Tommy Miko or whatever, who clipped together all those parts where Tommy said Nintendo is full of rape games. And from there, that's where I found the Geeks channel, Pat and Ian. And then here I am now. So indirectly, this is how I got to this point. It is awesome.
I will never like Pat and Ian, but it has nothing to do with the Amico.
I had no idea who they were because I didn't follow anybody. So I just typed in like Intellivision Amico, and then the first one that popped up was them. I can't remember. I think about the gameplay, because when the Amico released that sizzle reel, I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And I watched it, and then it spidered to all these other videos, and I saw Tony's videos. I'm like, hey, this guy sounds like a real journalist, so I'll listen to his videos. And then I started listening to that, and now, like, it just I can't get out of it. It's so awesome.
You're just hooked.
Thanks,
now.
Tony.
You're welcome. To your point about the Switch, the reviews
Shill.
all being the same, all being shills. They're not the only company that does that, obviously.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
big time.
And so I'm going to pull back the curtain just a little bit, and I'm going to show you something. Don't tell Sony, okay? Don't tell the PlayStation people; they'll be very upset with me. But I'm going to show you the reviewer's guide, quote unquote, that they sent for the PlayStation 5.
Cats.
My God. Carl, you scared me.
So you got the PlayStation 5 reviewer's guide. It's a whole PDF. Shit. It is 26 pages.
Ew. That sounds horrible.
It's got the whole breakdown of what's in there. The CPU, GPU, memory, everything, including the weight. I guess people want to know how much it fucking weighs.
Yep.
I've never been concerned how much my console weighs, but
does it come with a utility belt?
No, but it gives you all the high points. All the highlights: ray tracing, 4K TV gaming, backwards compatibility.
Does it mention anything about rape games?
No, but it does have the development philosophy.
Is there 10 commandments? No.
I've seen no commandments yet. It's got a getting started page. It shows you all the little stuff.
Jeez, I want to buy one right away.
It details how you should tell people how to set it up, how to attach the base, the display settings. Basically,
Ninja... Go on.
I was going to say, basically, this is the exact script for people that were getting the early copies of the PlayStation 5.
It's not quite as damning as the Nintendo thing. Like they said, you have to talk about how sturdy it is, like the Joy-Cons to the system. That was one of his sticking points. He's like, the Joy-Cons are like, well, they're loose. Like you can kind of shake, like bend the Switch, and it's not a tight fit. But they wanted to say that and say how beautiful the packaging was. And he gave all of the points. And right after that, he showed Victor Lucas and also Happy Console Gamer saying word for word the exact same things. Kind of saddened me because I'm like, oh, I thought these guys were legit. Or not legit, but honest.
This is the guide, right?
Yeah. If you're shit on, they would never send stuff to you, of course.
This is the guide, but what they send you along with this would have been an embargo agreement. Like, we're going to send you the console, and as part of the agreement, here's the things that we want to make sure you hit on. Boom, boom, boom. And then here's the full review guide, so you can go over all the points and you have them there.
I mean, you're a shill, dude. I mean,
Oh, I'm 100% sure.
you greedy shill. No, I mean, it don't
what?
matter.
I had Guru Larry and I had Vito on here. Those guys got way more subs than I do, and they admitted full on that they will shill the shit out of anything. Send them
Oh,
free shit. They
know
like
it.
the free stuff. So
You
I'm jumping
know
on
it.
that bandwagon.
Especially Vito. He's the shilliest motherfucker in the universe.
Oh, Carl, so feisty on the veto.
Zeno says, I buy games I want to play someday.
Yeah.
And OEB Pete thumbnails scare me away from watching the videos.
Actually, if you really want an Amico Ninja Kitty, all you gotta do is get a wood grain skin for your Xbox.
Rhea says, Carl made a detailed review about Hades, and it surprised me how low a score he gave it. Everyone is praising the game right now.
Oh yeah, I gave the game a low score now, and I still give it that. It's not that good of a game. It has no accessibility features. The God mode is strangely deceptive, and it feels like an experiment. It just doesn't.
I think Carl needs to do a re-review. After Carl gets his eyes completely fixed, he should re-review the game and see if it's still the same.
All right.
And once he gets his shield copy too.
I actually do have it installed on my Xbox.
Game Pass? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I but
that guy's scared of OEV Pete's thumbnails.
I am a little bit scared. I tried watching his videos one time, and I know I'm boring, and everyone always says I'm boring.
You're not that boring, dude.
There was so much dead air on Pete's videos that I was on his live streams, his playthroughs or whatever you want to call them. That I just couldn't watch it no more. I was like, I might as well just fucking watch the trailer or something. He's not saying nothing. He's not telling me anything.
Maybe you fall in a trance by looking in his eyes, and you can't click away.
I mean, I'll tell you one thing. He hates being called Petey.
Does he?
He hates it. Old Petey, Petey hates being called a Petey. Petey Blunder. Poor Petey Blunder hates being called Petey. No, I'm just joking.
I think
but
Carl
he really does hate that.
Good streams of Hades where he can just shit on the game the whole time.
Yeah.
Or Hades
shit stream.
I heard that you can stream with Twitch on your Xbox, so
you could.
I thought Twitch was only for the pretty girls that are in hot tubs.
Well, I'm not a pretty girl, but
he's in a hot tub.
Oh, I don't care that much about hot tubs either.
Oh, then Twitch ain't for you. I will say, now that Ninja Kitty's here and we're at the end of the show almost, we're wrapping it up, I am going to start doing a weekly AEW/wrestling live stream. I need a co-host. I already discussed it with Carl. He's not really a huge wrestling person, so I need somebody who knows about wrestling so we can have a good back and forth discussion. And I'm also going to be doing a weekly trailers, game trailer live stream, watch along, whatever you want to call it, fucking reaction. And I want to
focus
on
a hot tub?
No hot tub. But I want to focus on games that are flying under the radar. I get a lot of things crossing my desk, a lot of trailers and games and stuff from independents and smaller studios.
There's tons of good indie games.
So
and with Steam Deck coming out soon, I think a lot more people will be playing them.
Steam Deck.
We could, watch them and just, give opinions on them. So, again, I need a co-host. I discussed it with Carl. I would love to have Carl do it, but I don't want two Gabbing with Geeks weekly. You know what I'm saying? I want to have this to be the Carl show. Another co-host.
That's okay by me.
It'll have its own unique flair. So if you're interested in getting on one of these, let me know. Hit me up privately or publicly or stop.
I'm I'm going to help Tony with gathering information and stuff for the weekly podcasts.
Carl needs a new series called Shirtless Reviews. Yeah, that would
Pantsless.
actually work.
I already do that.
But you got to name it. You got to brand it. It's got to become your thing.
I mean, I would like to pull the rug right under Rich from Review Tech USA.
Ooh, undercut him. Give away the goods for free.
Yeah, totally.
Why pay $50 to Rich when you could get it free with Carl?
For me.
But you have to have a weird jingle like Rich has. I used in, I think, 2 of my videos.
What jingle's that? The exposed one?
How's it go? My wife keeps singing it because she heard it and thought it was absolutely hilarious. Am I allowed to share content on here?
Yeah. You
Let me
hit
see
the
if I
little
can
share
fill
button.
into dead air. I'll try to find this.
So again, if you're interested in co-hosting wrestling weekly talk about AEW and other wrestling things, or looking at trailers and doing a reaction, let me know privately, publicly. Hit me up on Discord, Twitter, email.
Erection interaction.
No.
Rich is too hairy. He needs to keep his shirt on. I mean, men have hair. I mean, we can't all be smooth like babies. Some of us got hair. I'm a hairy guy. I think Luke might be just, one of those smooth, what do they call them, metrosexuals?
I'm not that hairy, so
You're not that hairy.
no.
Oh, that's good. I found a video. I found the video. How can I do this? Share video file. Where's my haters folder?
Oh, you have your own haters folder?
Wow.
Manscapes.
I've considered it. I've considered it.
I've never considered it. Let's
On
add,
after
what is
the
this?
Xbox, PlayStation, and
It's one of my videos. I'll fast forward it.
You
That's the fun thing.
it's-
This is the influencers from Leapfrog. Nice looking moms and stuff. Then we go to
It's-
the Miko.
It's really hard for me to believe the Rich from
Retro.
Review Tech is straight.
Come on, Carl.
The look of the way he talks sometimes.
There he is.
Oh, wait, here we go. I got that. Yeah.
Of Intellivision. I got these man boobs. Titties like a woman. Titties like a woman. I got titties like a
No,
woman.
I can't do that.
Titties like a woman.
I might not have much humility, but I do have some.
But do you have titties like a woman?
My wife loves that. She always says that all the time
Hmm.
because it's hilarious.
I don't know.
But now we know that we can share video files, and I don't have to share just the fucking YouTube videos. I can go straight to the video file. Well, thank you for reminding me of that, Ninja Kitty.
That's what I did earlier today. Learning. I don't know how to do this newfangled internet stuff.
Yeah, all this fancy internet, all this fancy live streaming stuff, podcasting. I'm like a dinosaur.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm not a pro like Carl. Carl's been doing this for what? Like a year and a half?
20 years.
Hardly.
Well, you were
I
part of
never
Rico After Dark for a while.
Yeah, but I never really played with any of the stuff.
Well, you need to. You need to start playing with it, figuring it out so you can teach us.
I mean, honestly, I'm still figuring my way through it, and as you well know, I kind of stumble into things, kind of like a bull in a china shop.
But I watched a Mythbusters video on that, and bulls in a china shop actually would avoid everything and just...
Not smash stuff.
I don't
smash
like Mythbusters because they just came up with some of the stupidest stuff, like needle in a haystack, and it just got to the point where they just wanted to blow things up, and I wish they just do that instead of just trying to create an excuse. But I will say the White Rabbit series they came up with sometime later was kind of funny, especially the first episode when they discussed the plot to feed Hitler estrogen.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that. That had nothing to do with Mythbusters, though, Carl.
No, it was White Rabbit Project.
Right, that was the B team from the Mythbusters.
Yeah, they
They
did
have a new
have
show
some.
too, or one guy has a new show. I saw him making. I just saw the preview. They're trying to make a real life version of the Flintstones vehicle, like with the cement wheels and whatnot. So
You couldn't do that.
Going. They did it.
Who are you talking about? Adam Savage?
No, the B team, because the Asian guy passed away.
Not Grant Imahara, but
the white dude.
Oh yeah,
I forget his name.
Yeah, he was the like the big dumb guy on the show. Why the fuck they get?
I wouldn't figure it would work because of the physics required to make that thing operate on its own.
I didn't watch it yet. I think it's on Amazon.
No,
he has a few Amazon Prime shows.
I have better things to do, like catch a cold or wash my hair.
Or watch a Tony DGG video.
A what?
Watch a Tony Geek Getaway video.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's obvious.
That's the number one thing that you should do when you wake up. Just check my channel and watch my videos.
And hear me give Vito a piece of my mind.
You're pretty quiet last time, Carl.
You gotta let it go.
That guy's such a dumb motherfucker.
Seriously, Carl, you gotta let it go. We love everybody here. This is the friendly
I love
show.
people, but when I don't handle it when people try to bury me like that.
I think I know what Carl needs. He needs a hammock.
Yeah.
Confirmed. He needs to be relaxed.
No, that's not a good idea. I don't have much balance. I would be the guy that falls flat on his face when he tries to put it in. I just got through a surgery, so no hammocks for me for a while.
Okay, then you're gonna have to be like Darius and just copious amounts.
Smoke pot and drink booze all day. I could, I guess.
Drinks water. I think there's Eska. So
yeah,
Carl just needs to chill. How about that?
Some people get under my skin when they try to. I just did not appreciate the way he went about asking me those questions.
I think he was. He was just.
There's making a point, and then there's being a total asshole about it.
Look what you've done, Tony. Here. You created a rivalry now.
I did.
Animosity and.
Oh, I'm not like a lot of people. I do not let my feelings.
This needs to be settled in a game of Street Fighter 2. How about that?
I mean, I can deal with my rage. I'm totally cool.
Internalize that rage, and then one day, kill a bunch of kids at a playground or something.
No, I've already handled my rage, so I'm not that big of a deal.
All right.
It's all been dealt with. But if he does it again, I'm going to tear into him.
We haven't heard it from Vito in the last 24 hours, so.
Actually, I did. I did hear from him the other day.
So he's not dead. Okay, good.
He's alive and well.
Oh, I don't kill people.
Well, hopefully
it serves no purpose.
Yeah, it looks like he's alive. Good.
I would time to railroad tracks that had been abandoned for decades.
Jesus Christ. I agree with Tony. You got to let it go. Frozen, just keep listening to that song. And sing it.
Well, unless anybody in the chat got something else, unless Carl or Ninja Kitty got something else, I think we can cut it here. It's almost been 2 hours. I didn't think we were going to get 2 hours out of this.
See?
We don't know how to shut up. We just...
That's the best part.
It is. So 2 hours, no Amico topic, ironically. So this will be the worst viewed episode. Unless, of course, we have a lot of angry Vito fans that are going to come and bombard us with comments calling Carl out, which would be fun.
Fuck him.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody who tuned in. Thank you, everybody who's going to watch us on the replay. Thank you, Carl, for being here like always. Thank you, Ninja Kitty. And
Thank you for having me.
You know what we do here. Love, peace, booty grease.
Booty grease.
We out this bitch.